to the graduate's future. These responsibilities should also relate to all of us. Our first responsibility is to define what are PTAA's goals. And those goals come from our vision statement and also our mission statement. The goals set must be attainable, but challenging, have a vision of when the goals are achieved. Goals must be in writing. Goals should be rewarded. And all board members must agree to pursuing school goals. PTA mission is on our website, and so if you really want to take a look at what our goals are, you can take a look there. Relating this to our graduates and to all, it's important to set goals. The following steps are writing them down, make them challenging, but make them attainable. Review your goals when needed. I'm going to throw in a few of some of my favorite quotes. The greater danger for most of us isn't that our aim is too high, it is that it's aimed too low and we reach it. That was Michelangelo. Remember, a goal not written down is nothing more than a wish. Now, one of my favorite lines from a book is Alice in Wonderland, and I use this in my classroom all the time. Alice comes to a fork in the road. She looks up and she sees the Cheshire Cat in the tree. She says, "There's a fork here. Which way should I go?" The Cheshire Cat, with his big grin, says, "Well, where is it you want to go?" Alice says, "I don't much care." Cheshire Cat said, "Then it doesn't really matter which way you do go." Our mission statement is the blueprint for the board's next responsibility, the hiring, managing, and when necessary, replacing superintendent. It is the superintendent that the board will turn over the management of the school district. It is critical that the board hires the most qualified person for this position, someone that the board will work closely with in achieving stated certification requirements and PTA goals. For you graduates, and for all of us, this reflects the importance of having the right people in your life. Whether it's friends or whether it's students, co-workers, you must strive to have good people in your life and avoid those viewed otherwise. This quote's from Oprah Winfrey. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you up higher. Don't ever regret knowing someone in your life. Good people will give you happiness, bad people will give you experience, while the worst peoples will give you bad memories. Our third school board responsibility is physical responsibility. Each state has their own guidelines for physical responsibilities. They all expect the same results. Pay your bills. Texas, more than any other states, have very specific guidelines for meeting physical responsibility, and meeting these requirements starts with the approved budget. Working with the superintendent, the board, following state guidelines, creates and approves a budget. Each board meeting, the superintendent will provide the budget report. If the budget is on target, we'll accept the report. If there's issues, the issues will be addressed and managed. The lesson here is pretty simple. Have a budget. I hate to use our federal government as an example. With the U.S. is $30 trillion in debt. It's a perfect example of what not to do. Last time the U.S. was debt-free was 1852. And the last balanced budget was 1998. You never spend more than you can afford. It's simple math. There's nothing wrong with debt. What's wrong with debt is not meeting your payment obligations. With a budget, you know what you can afford to pay, not spend. And an important part of your budget is paying yourself first, for your future and for emergencies. 65% of Americans are not saving enough. Now, a couple of quotes from some well-known financial advisors. A big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry about what-ifs of life. Susie Oman. A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Dave Ramsey. Academic responsibilities are core to education. States tell schools what must be accomplished in the classroom, and it is the board's responsibility to meet those requirements, working through the management of the superintendent. The key to academic success is through our teachers. And the key to having the right teachers is through the superintendent and administration finding and hiring the right teachers. For my 12 years in the classroom and my 5 years as board chairman, I know how important teachers are in the success of the school, and it's obvious to me that PTAA has hired the right teachers. They don't do it for the money, they do it for the student and the joy of teaching. And for you graduates, remember, life is a classroom. You should always be learning. Life is full of lessons. And here's another great quote. We have two lives, the life we learn with and the life we live after that. Now, I've got a few quotes about teachers, because teachers are really special. Tell me and I will forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin. Teaching is the only profession that creates all other professions. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Mark Van Doren. The board feels there's one more important responsibility. So I've gone through the responsibilities and I've related them to life lessons. I've got a question for you graduates, and I expect an answer, okay? How much do you think a board chairman like me, a president, what kind of salary should I get? Anyone? Oh, come on. Look at what I'm worth. Come on, what do you think? No one? High? Lots of money? Yeah. We're volunteers. We are volunteers that are committed to our positions because we care about our community. We care about you students. The last life lesson for you is get back to your community. Get involved with community organizations. You will find that giving back is good for yourself. And in finishing, we wish you nothing but success. Success in life, success in love, success in happiness. Thank you. I'm sorry. On the way up here, my wife gave me some suggestions and she put it in my pocket and I didn't look at it. Get off the podium as soon as possible. This is their time, not yours. Do not try to be funny. Don't bore them. Sounds like good advice, but I think I screwed them all up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parrott. Please welcome Tay Matthews and Julia Frisbee.
Family and friends, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Miss Becky Henry. Miss Henry is a leadership expert who delivers high-energy, thought-provoking presentations that challenge audiences to leverage their focus, set goals, and pay attention to what matters most at work and in life. She is passionate about helping people reach their full potential. Becky earned her Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from Oral Roberts University in Tulsa and is currently the Chief Services Officer at the Henry Group. She spent over 25 years in the oil and gas industry, providing technology solutions to business functions across multiple platforms and disciplines. Some of these include back-end network engineering and server architecture, leading teams programming in multiple platforms, and geographic information systems. Becky worked her way up from an entry-level position to earn her seat at the executive table applying the strategies that she speaks on today. The class of 2021 is very appreciative of Ms. Henry for volunteering her time to conduct a resume writing workshop for the senior class, and for being here tonight to share her knowledge as we prepare to start the next phase of our lives. To show appreciation for her guidance and help, the senior class would like to give her a small token of appreciation. Please welcome Ms. Becky Henry.
Journals. My husband's in the audience, he can attest to that. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. And I'm so excited to spend some time with you this evening. I actually have here in my speech where I talk about earlier in the year whenever we sat down and, well, I sat down, you guys sat down over video. So this is my first time to be with you in person, so I'm excited. That's why I had to hug you. But I was able to spend time with you guys in that resume exercise, and wow, I'm so impressed with all the different pursuits that you guys have done. Kim is giving me an update, and I've asked a couple of questions because I'm curious, like, you know, how you guys are applying these things and what's happening next for you. So, way to go. Super awesome. So as I was thinking about what am I going to share with you tonight, you're going to get a lot of information, and I know you're ready to kind of get through the evening as well. So I'm thinking, what can I give you that is simple and you can take with you, and you're going to apply it again and again and again. And I thought about the word vision. That word for me came into focus. And Usher stated, yes, I'm going to start with an Usher quote. You may not be where you want to be or do what you want to do when you're on the journey. Can you guys attest to that? Even going through high school, it's like, okay, I may not be where I want to be, or do I have to do this, right? But you've got to be willing to have vision and foresight that leads you to an incredible end. So what's your incredible end? It starts today. Your vision will define your goals and fuel your determination, but you must apply focus to see your vision, or you will not move forward. So imagine that your vision is a bridge from the present to the future. This bridge leads you from where you are to where you need to be. But what does your bridge look like? Is it tall? Is it long? Is it wide? What colors is it made of? What does your bridge look like? Each plank that's used as a pathway over this bridge represents your goals. And each time you accomplish one of your goals, you're going to take a step forward over your bridge. So every pioneer needs tools to help you cross that bridge. And two tools that I recommend when you're working with vision are binoculars and a magnifying glass. And obviously, you know, they do two different things. So a binocular is going to keep your eye on the destination, and trust me, you're going to need to remind yourself where you're headed at times along your journey. They help you see further and with clarity, which is also important. They bring focus to your vision. But sometimes you need to look in earnest at what is right in front of you. And in order to see it with intensity, you'll need to use that magnifying glass. The magnifying glass can increase the intensity of its focal point up to 250,000 times. It's used in the right now, in the today, which is really important. Because if you're going to have a great year, you got to have a great month. And in order to have a great month, you got to have a great week. But in order to have a great week, what do you need? A great day. Right? So when I graduated high school, I was filled with hope, I was excited, and honestly, I was totally relieved it was over. I was also apprehensive because I thought, now what? Now what? You really have so much in front of you, so many options. I knew I was interested in pursuing technology, but I wasn't focused on the discipline. I had a vision that was not focused. So I began exploring many different disciplines, which landed me into computer science. I chose it because it would be constantly changing. I would always be learning, and because of that, if I applied myself, there would always be opportunity for me. I would be my only limit. Learning did not come easy for me. I really had to work at it. At times, while studying, I literally had to walk around my room with my book open so that I didn't fall asleep. That's how I stayed awake, trying to get the information in my head. This was the constant practice for me. I'm not going to fall asleep tonight, just in case you guys are wondering. But my vision had focus. I could pick up my binoculars and I could see across the bridge and I could visualize my destination. I knew that the pursuit of learning would open doors of opportunity for me, and so my vision was the bridge to my future. Does that make sense? My goals set my action each day, and the clarity of my vision fueled my determination. Many people today live in two different realms. They live in the past, and they live in the future. You guys, those realms don't even exist. People do this because they don't understand the need of a strategy in the present in order to leave the past and powerfully step into the future. My favorite book says, "Where there is no vision, people perish." So how powerful is vision? We got to hold on to it and grab a hold of it. What's your vision? You've got to write your vision. You've got to make it plain. Now, let's go back to your bridge. Are you there with me? You got a bridge in your head? Okay. Now let's use your binoculars to focus on the other side of your bridge. What do you see? Can you see the details of your vision? Why is it important to be clear on the details? If you don't, you'll never know when you arrive. There's no destination. Let's take a graduation party. Anybody ready to celebrate? Yes. So if you're having or you're going to a graduation party, did you invite others by saying, you know, someday we're going to have a party for somebody at some place, sometime, and hey, hope you can make it? No, right? No. There were details. You had a date, you had a time, you had a location and a person. It was specific. There were plans, there's decorations, there's food, maybe activities, and hopefully some gifts. It was specific, and since it was specific, it's going to happen. Did you go around making sure that the details worked for everybody before you planned it? Ain't nobody got time for that. No, you set the plan, then you shared the details, and then the response came. You must set your plan first. You must be clear. So back to our bridge. Each plank on the bridge is a goal. So how do we build the planks? By setting goals. Well, how do you set goals? Henry David Thoreau stated, "I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by conscious endeavor." What do you think about when you hear that word, conscious endeavor? I think it's action with intention, which means goals. So goal setting pushes us to use talents and achieve dreams that have a deadline. Goals should be SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So the S stands for specific, which means they need to have some clarity. M is for measurable. What does complete look like? A is action-oriented. What steps do you need to take? And R is realistic. It's got to be something that can be accomplished right now. For instance, if I went to the gym and I lifted more than I trained for, that's not something I can accomplish right now. T is for time-focused. Within that time, what time frame will I accomplish this goal? So SMART. As you walk through identifying your goals, you'll need to prioritize your goals, because oftentimes you'll end up with competing priorities. How do you prioritize? My recommendation is to identify your big rocks first, okay? So here's what I mean by big rocks. I'm going to tell you a little story. There was a professor that stood before his philosophy class, and he had some items in front of him. When the class began, wordlessly, he picked up a very large and empty jar and proceeded to fill it with golf ball-sized rocks. When he asked his students if the jar was full, they all agreed that it was. Then the professor then picked up a box of pebbles, and he poured them into the jar and shook the jar lightly. The pebbles rolled into the open areas between the golf ball-sized rocks, and then he asked the students again if the jar was full, and they agreed. The professor next picked up a box of sand, and he poured it into the jar. Of course, the sand filled up everything else, and he asked once more, "Is the jar full?" And they unanimously said yes. "Now," said the professor, "I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The rocks are the important things. Your God, family, your health, your friends, and your favorite passions, the things that if everything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, like your job or business, your schooling, and your car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand into the jar first, there's no room for the pebbles or the rocks. The same goes for life. if you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you'll never have room for the things that are important to you. Take care of the big rocks first, the things that really matter. Set your priorities, the rest is just sand. So identify your big rock goals, then prioritize the smaller ones. And when you're clear on your priorities, it helps to manage the decisions you need to make. All right, pioneers, now it's time to use your magnifying glass. This helps you focus on what you need to do today, because today matters. Why? Because one day brings you what? A great week, and then a great month, and then a great year. But it all starts on what you do today. One day in my academic career, my professor called me into his office and we went over course offerings. That day, he presented two paths. One was towards graphic design and the other towards corporate business, and I had a choice. Since I had determined my big rock goals, I knew that I wanted to be close to my family geographically. The graphic design would have taken me towards California or Florida, but the business path would keep me close to home. Knowing this, it helped me make my decision for my course lineup. But you guys, I was tired. I'm sure you understand what that feels like. In the latter half of my college pursuit, I had doubled up on all my core classes and was taking 4 programming languages in a semester, and I was exhausted. You know how many times you can mix up your syntax with that? A lot. I needed fuel. So what fuels you to get over your bridge? Determination will do that. Well, how do you get determination? It's the clarity of your vision that fuels your determination. So get clear about what it looks like. Determination is about as important to achievement as gasoline is to driving a car. Sure, there's going to be times when you feel like you're spinning your wheels, but you'll always get out of the rut with genuine determination. Determination means you never quit. You are the author of your story. You get to write it. Write your vision, build your bridge, focus it, know the details, see it clearly. Break the steps into goals and establish the planks for your bridge and prioritize your big rocks. Pick up your tools, your binoculars, to focus on the end goal, which drives your determination, and your magnifying glass to help you narrow down what you've got to do today. I have full confidence that you will succeed. Man's greatest tragedy is not that he lost, it's that he almost won. At the end of my academic journey, through hard work and determination, some tears, some celebration, probably some cuss words, I graduated with honors and already had been hired prior to graduation at my first corporation in the energy sector. It felt awesome to cross over that bridge and see all the planks in place and feel the satisfaction of success. And my hope is for you guys to have that and more in your life as well. This formula is going to equip you through all of your life. You'll achieve, and then you'll need to create a new vision, a new bridge for even greater achievements. So don't ever stop building bridges. I'm going to leave you with this quote tonight, and it's actually in your program, so hopefully you're going to take your program and put it in a memory book. It's on the back side, and you guys can all follow along with me. It's by John Greenleaf Whittier. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. For all the sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest of these, it might have been. Go out and do great things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Henry, for the time that you've invested in our senior class. I know that's been valuable information that you've shared with them throughout the year, and we just really, truly appreciate you. A number of our students graduating today have brought distinctions to themselves. Through their academic achievements, students have earned a grade point average of at least a 3.0 with at least 12 college hours have earned the dual credit distinction. Please stand when I call your name. Austin Arize, Julia Frisbee, Kaylee Frisbee, Colin Higgins. Thank you. You may be seated. We have one student that has the distinction of earning the Associates of Science degree from Dallas Community College. Please help us to congratulate Colin Higgins. Colin will be attending Kansas State University in the fall. He has been awarded the Founders Non-Resident Merit Award from Kansas State University, totaling $44,000. Julia Frisbee will be attending Baylor University in the fall. She has been awarded the Baylor Sibling Scholarship of $3,000, the Baylor Independence Scholarship of $48,000, and the Achievement Baylor Scholarship of $4,000, for the total amount of $55,000. Kaylee Frisbee. Kaylee will be attending Baylor University in the fall. She has been awarded the Baylor Dean Academic Scholarship of $72,000, the Dunk for Tuition Scholarship of $16,000, and the Baylor Sibling Scholarship of $3,000 for a total of $91,000. Breon Matthews will be attending the University of New Mexico in the fall. She has been awarded the Lobo Tuition Scholarship of $60,000 and the Lobo Housing Scholarship of $8,000 for a total of $68,000. Shelby Diaz has enlisted in the U.S. Army. For her 3 years of service, she'll be eligible for the post-9/11 GI Bill worth over $80,000, plus $4,500 per year under the Tuition Assistance Program. As a Texas resident, she'll be eligible for the Yellow Ribbon Act, which provides additional money if she goes to a Texas public university, and the Hazelwood Act, which will cover the cost of up to 150 credit hours of college. Shelby, PTAA would like to thank you for your willingness to serve our country. At this time, please welcome our PTO President, Ms. Christy Horn.
Thank you, and good evening. Before I announce the recipients of each of the PTAA Greenville PTO scholarships, we as PTO would like to take a moment to recognize our students and staff members that have lost loved ones this year. These 2 scholarships will be given in honor of those we've lost and to celebrate their impact on our PTAA families. The first is the student Kinsey Johnson. She lost her father, Kyle Johnson. Kim White, our counselor, lost her father, Marvin Carlisle. Teacher Amanda Kilgore lost her father, Larry Jr. Poe. Shannon Foltz, one of our administrative assistants, lost her brother, Jesse Arnold. Kiara Smith, one of our teachers, lost her grandmother, Llewellyn Cook. Bethany Prather, our teacher, lost her grandmother, Dorothy Faye Hargrove. And teacher Megan Musgrave lost her grandmother, Marcia Musgrave. So now I have the distinct pleasure of gifting 2 of our seniors with our very first PTAA Greenville PTO scholarship. And it has been a goal of PTO to be able to support our seniors since the beginning, and we're so pleased that we're able to celebrate their accomplishments. And Kiara Smith is a teacher and also our PTO vice president, so she's going to be helping me tonight. So first, I would like to congratulate Kaylee Frisbee. She is awarded the PTO scholarship for $500. And I would also like to congratulate Julia Frisbee. She is awarded the PTO scholarship of $250. So I just want to congratulate all of our seniors, and we as PTO and as your PTAA family look forward to hearing of your continued achievements.
At this time, please welcome our board members, Mr. Parrott, Ms. White, and Mr. Hogan.
Thank you, and I want to thank everyone for coming this evening and celebrating this amazing event with our seniors. In our April board meeting, we brought up a discussion of just this, our very first graduating class, and we thought to ourselves, oh my God, do we have time to do something special for them? We had a little bit of time to organize a scholarship fundraiser for a deserving student. We realized at the time that we did not have quite enough to put together an application with very specific requirements, so we looked to the Greenville administration for just the right recipient. The decision was made that since we are a STEM school and we are PTEC approved, that this recipient should have received an associate's degree from a PTEC program. With the assistance of Mrs. Wiggins and Mrs. White, we selected one student that met that very requirement. This may seem like short-term play, but this is our long-term vision as a board. With this 2021 scholarship, we are starting a PTAA PTEC scholarship for all of our PTAA campuses. What this means, we're actually going to be sending out some information on this in the coming weeks, but what this actually means is each of our PTAA high schools will have the access to a scholarship program, and this time next year, another Greenville graduate will receive a PTAA PTEC scholarship. Before we present the scholarship, we would like to thank the Greenville administration, the PTAA PTO, thank you, and all of our amazing donors, and there were quite a few this year. We'd like to acknowledge some of our major donors for 2021, Creative Planning Financial, PTAA contractors, Daniel Santos, Vincent Ramirez, Sam Motley of Motley Electronics, Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, Mr. Jason Kramer with Revolution Chiropractic, the Hogan family, the Parrott family, the Pandy family, and the Flom Spalding. And now, without further ado, I would like to have our 2021 PTAA PTEC recipient please join me at the podium to receive your scholarship, Colin Wiggins.
Administration will really be in control of that as we go out, and the board's responsibility and whoever else is going to be on our committee to go out and find the big fish. And so this is something that I think we're all going to bring together next year because the PTEC program is so important to our campuses. So, Colin, thanks so much, and spend it wisely? One other thing I wanted to mention is that those that did help with this, it was pretty much a kind of a loving situation in that a few phone calls and we got what we were looking for. As I said, we were kind of short in the game when we came up with this donation. We actually have a surplus, and that surplus will go into the foundation for next year. So, congratulations.
We are so very proud of our 2021 senior class. This class has wowed us all. They have over $415,000 available to them to continue their education. At this time, Ms. Shannon Folks will present our Pioneer Award.
A pioneer is defined as a person who is among the first to explore a new area. Our pioneering spirit is defined by this class of 2021. They have been the leaders that have completed many of the first in our district. Along with being the first class to graduate from the Greenville campus, we have our first graduate with an associate degree. We've had our first academic signing day, our first prom, our first home games, our first senior trip, just to name a few, and so many more firsts this year. This class has been trailblazers to those that follow. We started this journey with 6th through 8th grade and 36 students. We will have an enrollment of over 500 next year in 5 short years. Tonight we want to recognize those students that have been with us since the inception of the Greenville campus in 2016. Tabrion Matthews, Colin Higgins, we also want to recognize those students that have been here for their entire high school career. If you'll please stand, Joshua Moore, Cynthia Guerrera, and Shelby Diaz. Congratulations to the pioneering class of 2021. Please welcome Ms. Prather.
Thank you. E.E. Cummings once wrote, "It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are." It takes courage because, well, it's hard sometimes. We, as your teachers, family, and friends, have had the pleasure of watching you and helping you all to do that hard work of growing up. Let's take a moment, though, to walk through your journeys together, to see, to remember, and to acknowledge how far you all have come. Please. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce this next young man to you. I've had the honor of teaching him a variety of subjects over the past 5 years, from art to research, finance to speech, and even those 6 weeks of poetry in 8th grade. Through all of that, he has proven an adept student across the board, as evidenced by his many achievements that we are celebrating here tonight. But it is not his grades that stand out in memory. Instead, I recall the friendships that he has cultivated over the years and the leader that he has grown to become. I recall his kindness to all, his wit and humor, and his willingness to serve at any time. I've grown to depend on this young man, as many of my colleagues have as well, knowing that if I need something, he will step up and take care of it. I have found myself wondering, what will we do next year? But I remind myself that he has set the example for the upcoming classes, and for that he should be very proud. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this kid grow up, and I am so proud to have been a small part of his journey. And so it is my honor to introduce to you our 2021 valedictorian, Colin Higgins.
Well, I guess we'll see how good of a speech teacher you were. 5 years ago, I was just a nerdy homeschooler who was eagerly awaiting his first day of real school. Little did that bright-eyed, innocent little 8th grader know that the next 4 years would change his life and he would make memories that would stay with him forever. Some memories good and some bad, but they all helped shape the person I became. Whether it was continually failing Mr. Gutierrez's Spanish quizzes every Monday, Josh blocking a soccer ball with his face and getting a concussion, singing along with acts at Beta Convention even though our club has next to no musical talent, or annoying the heck out of Miss Loomis by sneaking carrots into her classroom. All these memories are just some of the things that made high school so great and rewarding. But I think the most important thing that I learned in high school was to not be afraid to fail. And no, I'm not talking about a college course. Please don't fail that or Miss Smith will have your head. But rather, do not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Graduates, we are in the most exciting time of our lives where we are in a position to chase after our dreams. Do not let fear of failure prevent you from pursuing your passions. I guarantee there will be times you mess up and times your plans will have to change. But do not waste these years while you are young, not chasing your goals because you feel like you are not ready. Do not be afraid of failure, but instead embrace it. Learn from it. Let it be your biggest motivator instead of your biggest enemy. This was a lesson I had to learn in high school, and I want to share this wisdom with future classes. To make high school as fun as possible, try as many things as you can in high school. Learn what you like and learn what you do not like. For example, junior year I tried tennis. I had never played before. In fact, I probably made fun of tennis players because they're usually pretty nerdy. But tennis practices and tournaments were some of my favorite memories over the last 2 years. On the other hand, I tried yearbook this year, and I found out that that's not for me. But whatever you do, give 110% and do not be afraid to fail. I failed in high school and embarrassed myself plenty of times. I've been crossed out of my shoes in basketball, I've gotten dusted in track, I've messed up as an officer in Beta, and I've made some art pieces that look like a 10-year-old did them. But I learned from those experiences and discovered talents that I never would have known I had if I had not tried. I will give you one example of where I learned from failure. I wanted to start the event that happens once a year all across the nation called See You at the Pole. This is an event where students meet before school around the flagpole to pray for their community. The first year I tried this was freshman year. I invited a few people, but the only person that showed up was my sister. However, as embarrassing as that was, I did not let it stop me from trying again next year. My sophomore year, we had a much better showing, with about 10 people. And the year after that, about 25 kids. We did not get to do it this year because of COVID, but even though we failed at first, I am proud of me and my sister for stepping out of our comfort zone to try something new. And I would encourage the future classes to carry on the tradition. You do not have to overcome the fear of failure by yourself, however. There are many loving teachers, friends, and family that will help you through your journey. I would like to take the time to thank some of those people who helped me through high school. I would like to thank the Golden Girl teachers, Miss Lacey, Miss Loomis, Miss Mohammed, and Miss Prather, for turning a meek 8th grader into a confident young adult and always making me laugh whilst teaching me more knowledge and life advice than I could ever thank you for. I am grateful for my coaches, Coach Kerrigan, Coach Harris, Coach Smith, and Coach Summerlot, for pushing me further than I ever thought I could go, even if it was frustrating ending every practice with a Panther count. I would like to say thank you to Miss Wiggins, Miss Gilbert, Miss White, Miss Foltz, Miss Tully, and Mr. Cowan for approving every crazy idea that the seniors had this year and helping us run with it. There are so many more people that I want to thank, but we have to wrap this up. The Lakers play tonight, and I do not want to miss that game. But lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank my parents, who taught me to be a God-fearing leader who learns from failure instead of gives into it. It has often been said that failure is never an option. However, this could not be further from the truth. Failure is not only an option, but is inevitable. It is how we deal with and learn from failure that makes us successful.
Acting on the recommendation of our PTAA teachers and our Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present and to recommend the 2021 graduates of Pioneer Technology and Arts Academy Greenville to receive their diplomas. These graduates have the requirements set forth by our district and the Texas Education Agency. First row of graduates, please rise.
Colin Daniel Higgins. Chuck Winonso Arize. Shelby Diaz. Julia Elizabeth Frisbee. Second row, please rise. Kaylee Danielle Frisbee. Cynthia Zenaid Guerrero. Tay Danae Matthews. Joshua Cale Moore. Graduates, please rise. It is time to move your tassels from the right side to the left. This signifies the crossing from high school to the next exciting stage of your lives. We look forward to seeing you enter our PTAA doors once again as alumni. Until then, good luck. Graduates, you may take a seat. Please welcome Ms. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. And might I say, my last goodbye to the college crew that I've named them that, my college crew. First, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this momentous occasion. I currently serve as the college facilitator for the Greenville campus, so I got to spend a lot of classroom time with this particular group. Sometimes, it was more time in the college room spent than they would prefer. We made the best of it. I learned about them and what they needed for support, I really have enjoyed this special group of seniors and created lasting memories. So, the school song idea. January the 24th, 2021 began the National School Choice Week. Since PTAA is a school of choice, we were asked to participate in some way. After reviewing the Know Your School quiz, I thought this would be a great thing for us to do. Only 6 questions. They would be okay with that. Wrong. No. They were hesitant at first, but soon the class was filled with laughter. Question 2 said, draw the school mascot. I tell you, some were not good at all. I mean, not at all. I mean, who's the worst one? Hayden. Folks? Okay, we laughed, like we were crying laughing about his rendition of the Panther, okay? But question 4 asks, does your school have a school song or motto? I then challenged everyone in the 9th period to try and write a song. So, the school song creation. The rules stated, you must write the school song using only the 6 lines on the paper. I told the students that I would write as well, and let's share when we all are done. So, we started sharing. One group had potential. That was Colin and Josh. I let them hear what I had written, and Colin said, Ms. Smith, you know what? That's good. I asked Colin and Josh if I could add a few words from them and the Panther check to what I had written. I said, let's submit this to the administration. You know what? You never know. We might have just written the official school song. So long story short, we will always remember that we created the school song one day in the college room during 9th period. I've written and collaborated on many songs, but this one is very special. Thank you, Mr. Cowling, for your using the music to accompany our lyrics. Most of all, thank you to the administration for giving us the opportunity to be a part of something so very special. So, will you please join us as we sing the official school song? You have a paper that's inserted in your program. Please stand with us and try to follow along. Congratulations. Please welcome Cynthia Guerrero for our benediction.
I want to thank everyone for coming out and joining us in a celebration of graduation. Graduation is an exciting time for us seniors. It feels like an ending and a beginning. Most of us have been together since freshman year, and all of us have had such amazing memories together. I see potential in everyone here, and I know we're all going to go our separate ways and do amazing things. Before we go, I want to say thank you to the teachers and the staff members who made this happen and for giving us such amazing memories at PTAA. Please bow your heads for a prayer. Lord God, we ask for your guidance as we graduate today and start our journeys. Bless our lives from this day on with goodness and love. Help us to stay true to our dreams, to use our gifts wisely, and to walk into the future with faith, hope, and love. Amen. Stay safe, everyone. I'm going to miss all of you guys. May God be with you all. Thank you and goodbye.
Families and guests, we thank you for coming this evening to share this special moment in celebrating with our class of 2021. Please remain seated until our graduates have left the gym.
thank you for coming this evening to share in this special moment and celebrating with our class of 2021. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming tonight.
Just quickly, the board gave teachers to the graduates, and on the front of it, it says class of 2021. And on the back, it says this.